All right. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Today we are looking at lesson 5.3, writing and solving proportions. So remember, we were working with proportions the other day, really to come up with how we understand them. It's really just a ratio is equal to another ratio. Our objective today is I can write and solve proportions using one, or A, the cross products property. I really like that one. And some students can actually do the multiplication property of equality. Now that one's a little bit more challenging, and you do have to be really, really quick with your multiplication skills, but they're both very, very helpful. And our essential question is, how can proportional relationships help you solve for the variable? So let's jump right into it. We're going to focus primarily on the cross products idea. So what we've done here is we've actually taken some textbook problems, the evens, we'll do them together, and then you'll do the odds for your assignment. All right, so a test is worth 50 points and a score of 40%. Ooh, that means unfortunately the student underperformed, but we got to figure out how many points they got out of the 50. So remember, you should write down the sentence. You can pause the video if you need to, and we're going to set up two ratios equal to each other, and that will allow us to solve for the unknown. So our unknown is really how many points the student got out of 50. So we're going to say x out of 50. But we did figure out, or it is told to us, that they got a 40%, and we know percent means per 100. So if we use our cross products idea, that is going to allow me to multiply x times 100, that's just 100x, and 50 times 40, which is really close to 5 times 4, just with some zeros. So we now have a basic equation, 100x is equal to 2,000. So our goal is to go ahead and solve it. So we're going back to solving equations, dividing by 100. Now, one thing my teacher taught me is to do this little helpful hint again. If both end in 0, then I'm allowed to cross off some common zeros. And that's only if they both end in 1 0, 2 zeros, 3 zeros, or whatever. So it's kind of like mental division. So by doing that, our result is obviously 20. So unfortunately, the student underperformed and got a 20 out of 50. Hopefully the student would take advantage of the opportunity questions. All right. Ooh, another one. This time the test is worth 80 points, and the student scored a lot better, 80%. But we're going to set it up the exact same way. So the score is unknown, so x out of 80. That's called the raw score. The percentage score is 80%, so 80 out of 100. So we're going to cross multiply and then find out what the student got. Excuse me. 100x, that's very helpful. 80 times 80. Well, we know 8 times 8 is 64. Double zeros, 6,400. Again, dividing by 100 makes it a lot easier for us because, again, we can do the little crossing out of zeros. So our result is 64. They scored a 64 out of 80. Now in math, we do it out of 50 points or out of 100 points because we try and make it a lot easier for you to find your percentage. All right, let's see. This could be a made-up game. This could be basketball. Probably not soccer, right? That's too many points. All right, so on this problem, the suggestion is to use the columns for your scenario. And in fact, if you notice the columns, they're already written kind of like a fraction. So 12 over 14. Again, columns are the vertical, rows are the horizontal. So that would be 12 over 14 is equal to 18 over W. So in other words, in game 1, if they scored 12 points with 14 shots, what is the missing value on game 2? Well, let's go ahead and set up with cross multiplication. cross product. So 12 times a W, and 14 times 18. So if you have to, just do 14 times 18 really quick on your calculator. I would probably put that directly underneath it instead of to the right, but maybe it's because we're running out of room. 12W equals 252. Divide by 12. Oh, man. Let me go back. So let's put divide by 12. So that's what you would do on your calculator. And that's how we get 21 shots. So over there on the little comments, it says numerators have the same units. So notice the points and the shots, points and shots. That's probably a really good way to set it up. Ooh, let's try rows. Rows also works, but personally, I don't like it as much as the columns. And the reason is columns is already set up nice and neat with like a fraction, but it's still doable. So that's why we practice it. So we got 12 over 18 and 14 over W. So we're still going to cross and multiply. So if you notice, it gives us the exact same thing. 12W equals 252. Divide gives us 21. So that is really just a way to set it up, showing you get the exact same answer. But I prefer, again, the columns. 12 over 14, it's already set up nice and neat. All right, number 10. So if you hiked 15 miles today for 2.5 hours, or in 2.5 hours, how many miles did you hike yesterday if you were doing 4 hours? Now, hopefully you have the exact same pace, and that's why we can set it up as a proportion. So again, I like columns. 15 over 2.5 is equal to the M, or missing miles, over 4. So we cross and multiply. I personally like working with the variable part first. Sometimes students just do the 15 times 4, which still works. It's okay. If you notice, the variable's on the left side like we want anyway, so it really doesn't matter which one you start with, but I always like putting the variable first, so the 2.5M goes first. And then it probably doesn't show it, so we're going to do it. Divide by 2.5. I'm using my mouse for this one, not the nice writing tablet. On the calculator, 24 miles. Woo, that's a lot of hiking. Or maybe it's a bicycle riding. Maybe it's rollerblading. Or have you seen those unicycles, like the actual ones that are motorized? Those are pretty cool. It's like one wheel or whatever they're called. Ooh, okay, so this is a student analysis. So we're looking for the error. Okay, so if the student used columns, shouldn't it be 2.08 divided by 8 is equal to D over 16? And if you cross multiply, $8D is equal to, if you multiply that, you get 33.28. Divide by 8. Whoa, that looks pretty bad. So the cost for 16 ounces, $4.16. But what if they set it up as the rows? Let's see, if they set it up as the rows, well, that'd be 2.08 divided by D equals 8 divided by 16. So they didn't really set up the problem correctly. They just grabbed stuff from the data table. I think that's what we're showing over here. They just went ahead and did it from the data table. Yeah, that's silly. Or they did some. I don't even know what they did. Silly kid. All right, here we go. Number 14. A school requires 2 computers for every 5 students. Ooh, we are hoping to get to a 1-to-1 scenario very, very soon. But this was from a while ago. A school requires 2 computers for every 5 students. How many computers are needed for 145 students? So let's see. If I do it as computers to students, that's x over 145, because we don't know how many computers are required for 145 students, but we do know that the ratio of 2 to 5, meaning 2 computers for 5 students, is going to help us solve our proportion. We're going to do our cross product multiplication. I always start with the variable part. So again, the diagonals, x times 5 is 5x. 145 times 2 is 290. And look, see, it probably doesn't show the division. Let's show it. Man, that was a bad 5. Ugh, I'm so sorry. But if I divide by 5, then I'm going to find out, hey, it does. Okay, it's better than mine. 58 computers. In my classroom, before it got taken apart, I had these 2 nice towers with the Chromebooks on there, full complete class set. But again, if we get back to the classroom soon, hopefully we'll be able to have a 1-to-1 ratio, meaning like students might bring their computers to school or other devices and so on. But we'll figure it out. All right, I think this might be the last one. An orchestra has a ratio of trombones to violas of 1 to 3. If there are 9 violas, write and solve a proportion to find the number of trombones in the orchestra. All right, we can do this. This is just like the other problem. So let's see. 9 violas. Trombones are unknown, right? So let's see. Unknown trombones, 9 violas in the orchestra. The ratio is 1 to 3. 1 trombone for 3 violas. Oh, we can definitely do this. So x times 3 is 3x. 1 times 9 is just 9. You guys got this in your head. 3 trombones. One of my friends, great friends in high school, played the trombone. It was kind of loud, though. It's the one with the slide, right? I am not so musically inclined. Maybe you are. My daughter and 2 younger sons do music. And I heard her piano teacher talking to her about the different notes and how it's using fractions. And I thought that was pretty cool. Look at that. We're already done. All right. Be awesome. Do your textbook homework, which is going to be the odds. Very similar to what we just did on the evens. Be awesome.